Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this reading comes across your feed. This is going to be the reading for the full moon in Virgo, peaks March 3rd. We're currently in the energy now, 3 days up till and even 3 days after. So this is going to be for Cancer energy. It does not have to be your sun, moon, rising, or your Venus. You can have a house, right, that Cancer is sitting in. So it can resonate with anybody. Just depends on planet placements, house, what my spirit team feels needs to come out during this time. The full moon in Virgo is a time to get practical. Sorry, I'm watching my dog. Okay, he's climbing his stairs to look out my bedroom window. The dog behind us, I think, is talking. So, anyway, sorry. It's funny because I brought that up because the Cancer energy for this full moon is about organizing your thoughts and communication and communicating something clear, which is interesting because, like I said, my dog is climbing his stairs to look out the window. He's a little chihuahua, so it's not like he can just look out the window. He actually has to climb the stairs, so he's got to put effort in. How about that? So maybe that plays into this reading, is that the Cancer energy needs to gather their thoughts, because the Virgo full moon is about being practical. It's about bringing balance to some sort of chaos that's going on in one of the houses of astrology in your life. So it can be, health, relationships, careers, finances, personal growth, and spirituality, right? It can be any of those areas of life. And it's funny that happened because, like I said, that dog was talking, and it's kind of like he's making the effort to go up and see what's going on with that dog behind us. So anyway, again, communication. So we're going to get into this. Let's pull the astrology dice, and we're going to see what house this falls in for Cancer energy. What house for the full moon in Virgo is going on for the Cancer energy that we need to know about for their highest good? Ooh, 5th house. Children, leisure, dating, and creativity. Okay. Let's pull 3 cards. Past, present, future. 5th house for Cancer. What's going on? Past, present, future. 5th house. Cancer energy. Past, 2 of Pentacles. Present, what's going on? 5 of Swords in reverse. Future, 2 cards. 9 of Wands and the Lovers. I think this is related to a little date. Someone you want to date, someone you have been dating, wish to date. Look, in the past, 2 of Pentacles. It doesn't look like you were prioritizing partnerships. You may have had a lot going on. You may have been a little wishy-washy, waffling back and forth. You may have been in undecided in the past about maybe somebody you wanted to date. Okay? Because in the current moment, present, Five of Swords in reverse, it's kind of like you want to reconcile. Okay? There's a desire to forgive. So there may have been some friction, little conflict in the past where you were not prioritizing any kind of connections. And now it's like, well, you're thinking about it in the current moment, because in the future, it looks like you may want to put in some work, right? You're building up the courage to actually choose a connection. And you might have somebody in mind. So the main energy is Gemini with the Lover. So you could be connecting to a Gemini, somebody who may have strong Gemini in their chart. You might have strong Gemini, like I said. Just because the title says Cancer, it does not mean it's your Sun, Moon, Rising, or your Venus, or any of your main planet placements. Wow. And now it's, okay, can we push forward and choose this person? And maybe you're wondering if they can forgive you not prioritizing, right? So let's do some clarifications here. I did do a Cancer reading on my other channel. It was for the Mercury retrograde in Pisces. We've been in the pre-shadow since February 11th. It officially started on the 26th. And I did a reading early last week. I think I know for a fact somebody got upset with me because I knew in that reading it was the Cancer energy that needed to come back to somebody else. Looks like this might be carrying over. So you might want to check out that reading I did. I got a little spicy. Cancer, the water signs put me through it with the retrogrades. Anyway, this does look like it might relate. So let's see. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles in the past, please. Okay, we got a Queen of Wands. Could have been dealing with a very attractive, very independent, magnetic Queen of Wands. Whether it's masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. Eight of Swords in reverse. Dang it, there's the Five of Swords again. So there was friction and fighting, and now in the present moment, it's in the reverse. Yeah, a little conflict. There was a little tension with the Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it doesn't have to be, but they could just have a lot of fire in their chart. They could be, like I said, very attractive, very magnetic, very independent, go-getter. They go get what they want. And it's like in the past, you somewhat released them with the Eight of Swords in reverse. And you may have been caught up in your head creating obstacles. Or you thought, oh, maybe, you thought, well, there'll just be more arguments in the future with this person. So you decided, well, I'm not going to prioritize them, right? I'm not going to make the time. I'm not going to decide to date this person, so I'm just going to let it go. But now in the current moment, you're 5 of Swords in reverse. You're like, rethinking this. Tell me about this 5 of Swords in reverse, current moment. Oh, goodness. All right, I guess we're done. All right. Eight of Cups. King of Swords in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So in the current moment, it looks like I said, it felt like you might have wanted to reconcile, or you want a desire to have forgiveness for what had happened in the past. You kind of like assuming too many obstacles with this person. It would be too much work. So you're like, I'm not focused on it. And yeah, I mean, you're afraid to talk about the fact that you checked out, you emotionally walked away, and that it was a disappointment for you. You're a little afraid of that. And you're wondering, can this be forgiven? You took the wrong choice. Okay. So what about the future here? With the 9 of Wands and Lovers. Queen of Swords in reverse. Queen of Cups in reverse. Seven of Pentacles. So you definitely want to invest in this person. You're at a point where you're if you have strong Cancer in your chart, Queen of Cups in the reverse, it's like you can feel a little overwhelmed, especially during the full moons. The moon is ruled by Cancer. So if you have any strong Cancer in your chart, depending on those placements, you're going to feel those full moons. They're going to make your emotions, right? Because you feel anyway. But then when you come into the full moon, you start to, it intensifies and it overcomes you. And then it's like you're really starting to think with your heart. Internally. But you also know you need to speak with your words outwardly in the current moment about the fact that you walked away, you withdrew. And you have to speak about the fact that it was a disappointment for you. Or it is, you're feeling this disappointment. And you really would like to invest in the connection because you're feeling it internally with your heart. Let's give this a fair chance. So, how does this person feel about the Cancer placements? Because it's not saying, it feels like it's talking a lot about you and your energy. So how does this person feel about Cancer energy? Ooh, 10 of Cups. Well, that you make them happy. They feel very happy. They really like you. Wow. 4 Swords. The World. So since you've been on this break, right, they've mentally pulled back. It's like they want to go ahead and move out of the separation because you do make them happy with the World. So they'd like to end the separation between you two because they do feel really good. They, Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, so they probably felt really good in your presence, even though you didn't prioritize it. And you thought there would be too many obstacles ahead with this person. I don't know why. Maybe there's a more of a backstory as to why you were so busy. I don't want to dig into that. I'm trying to keep these kind of short so I can finish up the rest of the readings. But they would like to, like I said, move forward and end the separation because they do feel good about you. So I don't know if that helps you, because you are struggling so much with the fact that you feel disappointed over not prioritizing the dating and the love and choosing a connection. You probably had some other things going on and maybe you didn't tell them. And that's part of you coming in, is maybe explaining why you were emotionally checked out. There may have been more to this that I'm not seeing that you know. And that's much about coming in and getting out of, your head, getting into your heart, right? Getting the courage to come forward and choose with your heart harmonize with this person. Because you're really feeling the emotions. What's the shadow? What's the shadow here? The wounded heart. Acknowledge and tend to past emotional wounds. Healing begins with self-compassion. You know, you're hurt, right? You feel it in the current moment because, you know, you do want to reconcile. You do want to forgive. You want to stop mentally fighting with yourself. I think you're being harder on yourself than you need to be. I think it's truly just getting the courage to talk about what happened, why there was this separation, why you didn't choose it, what did you have going on. There may have been more because, like I said, you didn't prioritize it, so you had a lot going on. And maybe that's part of what needs to happen is you just need to come forward and have a conversation and explain why you didn't prioritize the connection and choose it. You may have legitimately had some things going on, but you just didn't want to talk about it. And to heal the wounded heart is to just go ahead and talk about it. Maybe, like I said, you're just making a bigger deal. Maybe this person will be very understanding about what you had going on. And truthfully, you should have just been upfront and said it from the get-go. And you didn't, but a lot of people don't. I don't know why. I think they make bigger deals out of what's going on in their life and keep it hidden, and then it creeps up in the future, and then it's like, oh, it's a bigger deal. And then when you tell them, and they're like, why didn't you just tell me that from the beginning? Like, I would have understood. It's kind of like, oh. Right? You know what I mean? I think you're way more caught up in your head, especially with the Five of Swords. In the upright, when you didn't prioritize, now you're like, okay, now it's like, God, I got to get out of my head. Do you think they'll reconcile? You're constantly caught in your head. And you've got to get out of your head. Stop being so logical and feel with your emotions. Listen to your intuition. That's a big part of with the retrograde, you know, so not only do we have this full moon in Virgo and it's an eclipse, it's more intensified. But also you have this retrograde in Pisces, which is a water sign, and your water energy. And it's, you know, listen to yourself. And you might be making a bigger deal than need be. Of course, I don't know what your backstory is. So let's get you a moon card. New moon eclipse. A time of deep change and introspection, making the start of a powerful new cycle. Major shift, introspection, new beginnings. Right. So you're going through a major shift, right? You're getting a lot of introspection on the fact that you should have maybe had said something, or you regret not prioritizing this person. And you're getting the insight on that, and you're ready to move forward. You're ready to have a new beginning and to gain the courage to come forward where, you know, you having the courage to really explain why you didn't prioritize this person. I don't know what that is. It's going to be different to each of you. But it's deep change for you. You're going from not choosing. I just feel like you're carrying a lot of the burden on this. This person's always wanted to be in your life. They never wanted to be separated. But I mean, you did what you did for a reason. Only you will know. But it has to be you that makes this change because you released them. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, hopefully they will forgive me. But you see here, they never wanted it. They would like to end the separation. But I don't think they feel they can do it because you let them go. So this is, where the Cancer energy got really ticked off at me, but this is what's coming out. So you might want to check out the retrograde meeting. Come meet me on my channel. On my other channel, Intuitive Dreams 1111. I just posted it this week. It's the retrograde for Cancer. This relates, and I hate to say this, but it is strong again coming up, and whoever's got the strong Cancer energy, that needs to do the action. So that's twice now. So check it out. I hope this was helpful. You know how they feel about you, so it should make it a little easier for you to want to come in and explain to them what happened. Can you forgive me? Can we move forward? Can we harmonize? Can we hold hands and be the lovers? Can we go out? Can we go on a date? Because I didn't prioritize dating. Just have a conversation. I hope this was helpful. Till the next one, I'll talk to you soon.